Another sex toy tossed from the crowd. Does the WNBA have a respect problem? I have two major changes the league needs to make, including an attitude adjustment. I'm Doug Kezirian. This is Hard Pass, also available in podcast. Does the WNBA have a respect problem? I say, unfortunately, yes, but I have two main solutions. The latest flying green dildo is certainly shining a light on something that's either the worst kept secret in sports or the giant elephant in the room. This is a league the masses do not take seriously or they don't respect. But we thought things were changing and evolving, right? Because after all, money talks. And with the latest TV deal and recent price tags of expansion franchises in the hundreds of millions of dollars, the WNBA now has everyone's attention, but not necessarily respect just yet. But for the money-wise, that's why those players were wearing those t-shirts, pay us what you owe us, ahead of the upcoming labor negotiations this coming offseason. Money, rather, and ratings have arrived. However, whether it's players saying dumb things or bullying Caitlin Clark, there have been hiccups and hurdles along the way. But this latest tomfoolery, a whole nother level, magnifies that there's still a ways to go. Or maybe I'm just overreacting. Let us know your thoughts. Join the conversation, comment section. Let me know your thoughts. What's your reaction to this latest sex toy flung from the crowd? You know, does it reflect the overall sort of view of the WNBA? As you would imagine, there was a social media reaction as soon as it happened yet again on social media. We'll go to X, where Big Cat of Barstool says the dildo crisis continues. And there's, after the free throw, it flung on the court. And actually, Sophie Cunningham of the Indiana Fever got hit. And so the hater report says she got hit with a green dildo after posting this a few days ago. On Twitter, she said, "Stop throwing dildos on the court. You're going to hurt one of us." Coincidentally, she's the one who got hit. And then I actually tweeted, yeah, I made the heat check. This Bills fan must be so jealous of what's transpiring in the WNBA. The David Thompson to the Green's Michael Jordan, the green sex toy, that is, because in 2016 at a Buffalo Bills game, there was one flung on the field. Jordan got the fame, but David Thompson was the OG, and maybe this fan was the OG as well. There's an old adage that was popularized by ESPN's NFL Countdown or Primetime crew with Chris Berman. Once is an anomaly, twice is a coincidence, three times is a problem. And this is the third bright green sex toy that's been tossed on the WNBA court during a game. So is there a problem? Well, after the second one, which occurred in Chicago, the Sky's Elizabeth Williams was asked post-game about the incident.
Yeah, I mean, it's super disrespectful. I don't really get the point of it. It's really immature. Whoever's doing it just needs to grow up.
I agree. It is disrespectful. But then again, as I showed you earlier, it once happened in an NFL game, so maybe take it with a grain of salt. However, what can the WNBA do to gain respect? And first off, on one hand, you don't do anything for outliers. They're idiots, and the Neanderthals should not command your attention. But it goes beyond just the outliers. The masses, in my opinion, will flock if you change two things. Number one, behave like a professional athlete all the time. Develop thick skin and understand that being criticized in terms of your game is a privilege of being a professional basketball player. In certain conversations, you are a commodity and can be discussed as such. What do I mean by that? WNBA legend and current broadcaster Candace Parker was asked recently on a podcast to rank a list of players. She put Angel Reese behind current stars like MVP candidates and all-stars, which shouldn't be a problem, right? Yes, I know she's an all-star too, but she's in her second year. Outrage followed. Candace Parker was labeled a hater of Angel Reese. In the follow-up podcast, Post Moves with Aaliyah Boston of the Indiana Fever, Parker said this.
I do not attack character. I literally am just, from my point of view, from my opinion, this was the ranking. And so I ask again, are you taking Angel above Paige? Are you taking Angel above Arike? Are you taking Angel above Sabrina or Kelsey or Caitlin or Asia or Nafisa or Brianna? No, that does not make her a bad player. That does not make me a hater.
Now, for a macro convo on a separate podcast, Parker with Raz Gold Onwude discussed that viral reaction of Candace Parker being labeled a hater.
There has to be room in broadcasting and talking about women's hoops where you can objectively talk about in an objective and constructive way when someone is playing well and when they're not. That's literally our job. Also to make an opinion over something and to project over time. And you bring in a legend because you respect the body of work and what they're saying.
I think in this space, I feel like the need to have to explain myself, but I don't. So like, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's cool. But I think where we know we're going to be successful is we get to a place where it's sports and it's not personal.
Now, I understand you have to break a few eggs to make an omelet, but this is basic stuff and embarrassing and indirectly leads to that lack of respect. If a credible analyst does a ranking and then breaks it all down, basketball specifically, you absolutely have to take it in stride. Grow up. Zero disrespect was said, and that goes for Angel Reese's fans. Analysts have a license to analyze, and some of this also falls on game broadcasters. Don't ignore bad plays, call it out. I'll never forget this play from last year. Alicia Clark, who was on the Las Vegas Aces at the time, a smart veteran player, she had a Shaqtin' in a fool moment, passing the ball to the wrong player. It happens at all levels, even the NBA. It happened in college way back when and led to North Carolina beating Georgetown with Michael Jordan involved in the 80s. Even at the biggest stage, it happens.
Look for Sleepy Floyd. He threw it to the wrong man.
But this broadcaster ignored it, coddling the WNBA and Clark.
Reversing through the person at the top.
Enrique with a steal.
Steal.
Clark will be whistled for the foul. How about that heads-up play?
Heads-up play? Again, that was a year ago, but this type of stuff happens a lot. A player can get lost on D. An offensive player passes it for a wide-open layup, and the broadcaster responds and reacts like it was some amazing pass threading the needle instead of just calling out the horrific ball-watching defense. It's pathetic and embarrassing, and worst of all, it's insulting to the viewer. If you constantly do that, it becomes the boy who cried wolf and takes away from the actual good highlights like this.
The 100 win over Phoenix. Stephanie White called that a big win. They were outstanding. Mitchell,
Come on.
The former Dallas wing, Natasha Howard.
Yes, I purposely used that same broadcaster. I'm of the belief if you command respect, you will get it. And the league, which I think has a great product, needs to stop the coddling and just put forth that quality product. Knock off the coddling. A number two sort of main solution to all this, along those same lines, push that credible product that you have. Unfortunately, we live in a society that's a microwave society that's going to focus on viral moments, such as a sex toy flying onto the court or a bunch of missed layups or other bad plays. But you can control that narrative by dominating the visuals. Specifically, as I said on a recent Hard Pass episode, I didn't love the Gatorade ad, the campaign Let Her Cook, because it really only resonated with current fans, not the non-fans you want to convert. Telling someone they're misogynist does nothing. Woke isn't cool anymore. If I were in charge, I would speak to the basketball fans that are turned off right now by the current NBA. Ad campaigns like sick of games where everyone shoots a three. Well, we play real basketball, the style of game you like, and then have a bunch of highlights of awesome quality basketball, a montage using the entire half court, not just 3-pointers, because the WNBA does that. There is a quality product, such as this half court set with Paige Beckers on a back cut. Now, we can't show you the full highlight because we're limited here on YouTube, but you get the gist leading to this back cut.
Just 2 points in 15 minutes against the Mercury on Wednesday. James sprinting away from the ball. Becker's mini. That's her.
Yeah, good defense, better offense. Again, fight for their attention. Show them what they're missing. Show them that you're real professional athletes and have quality games. The disrespect will gradually fade because right now you're giving them plenty of ammo with the viral content, coddling, and thin-skinned behavior. Am I being too extreme or not enough? Let me know your thoughts. Join the conversation, as we like to say. Weigh in on the comments section. I'd love to hear from you. Time now for Fans in the Stands, and this is when we respond to comments from the audience, our fans in the stands. So the comments in the YouTube section, and this is when we encourage you to like and subscribe as well. That's the currency in this new YouTube world. And we welcome all input, what you like, what you dislike, things you want to see more of, less of, random questions. We get betting questions as well. So please fire away. These are some recent comments. This was on a YouTube short about LeBron and the accusations from Jeff Teague and steroids. That summer, Jordan put on all that muscle. That was natural. Ha ha. This is from Uncle Slevin. And I know what he's talking about, but look, Jordan wasn't obscenely jacked after evolving. Remember, in their 20s, you put on bulk. Jordan came out early. He wasn't one and done at North Carolina, but he was still developing in his young to mid 20s. And because he was the physicality of the Pistons and the Celtics, he did bulk up. I think it was natural, but maybe I'm naive. Certainly a justifiable position, all things considered, I guess. My comment to Uncle Slevin was he wasn't that oddly ripped. I think it was legit. Yeah, I don't think Jordan was oddly ripped. This isn't a Barry Bonds transformation, but then again, can't be naive across the board in all eras. In response to Luka's contract, that most recent YouTube episode, Ryan Huffman says, I'm a huge Mavs Luka fan. There was so much goodwill built up between Luka and Mavs fans. Every tiny mistake is going to be magnified as the face of the Lakers, especially with LeBron and the sway of the media he can hold. It depends on if the Lakers fans truly embrace Luka for who and what he is. And that was in response to, can Luka handle the pressure of being the face of the franchise with the LA Lakers? Yeah, Mavs is one thing, but the Lakers are a whole new ballgame. And with LeBron relegated to that supporting actor role, what will all transpire? Can LeBron handle, can his ego handle sort of being pushed aside while he's still an all-NBA player, whether it be third team, second team, things like that? It'll be very interesting. Along those lines, Paul Sampignaro said, I understand human nature, and it's tough when you're the leading man for so long, and then you're asked not with words, but actions to take a role as supporter of the new sheriff in town. I may be in the minority here, but I think LBJ will handle it like the true pro he is. A lot will have to do with Luka, also on how he's going to accept advice from time to time from LBJ. If this works out, this could be the best Batman Robin that you've seen past or present. I just wanted to add, I'm not really a LBJ fan, but I do admire the man, the way he carries himself off the court. I can't remember ever reading anything bad about him. Yeah, I mean, look, we nitpick here and there, whether maybe some questionable posts, things like that. The decision was the big faux pas. I get it. But all in all, he stayed out of legal trouble. Yeah, pushing Bronny on the Lakers was one thing, but for the most part, he's lived up to the hype and then some. I mean, he was cover of Sports Illustrated at age 18, so I agree there. We'll see if he can handle it. I think Luka, a lot depends. Now, I don't think LeBron will have an issue deferring to Luka in crunch time. He did last year at times to Austin Reeves, but LeBron has enough equity. He's the all-time league scorer in NBA history. He's over 20 seasons in the league. I don't think he'll have a problem deferring to Luka, given where Luka is age-wise, and Luka's already established that. He's already an MVP candidate every year, at least in the discussion, maybe not candidate, but it's going to wear on LeBron at times. I think he'll be frustrated. His body may not be able to deliver what he once could. I mean, look, he's not overnight going to age 40, 41, but this will be interesting to see how it all plays out, to see if LeBron can, hang in the shadows and be the Robin to Luka's Batman. Don't forget to join the conversation, like and subscribe the show. That really helps us. And comment, leave your comments, whether it be the shorts or the YouTube videos, the full episodes, I should say. We welcome all the input, and we certainly hope you enjoyed this edition of Hard Pass.